In this video, we're going to go through a complete step-by-step guide on how to get your real estate license in the state of Massachusetts. We're also going to break down a couple important things like how to pick the right brokerage to give yourself the highest chance of success. And at the end of the video, we're going to go through a complete breakdown on how much it costs to get licensed in Massachusetts so you know exactly how much you need to budget. Let's dive right into the video. My name is Chris with the Empire Real Estate YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about real estate, entrepreneurship, and personal finance. Before we get started, I want to offer you our free How to Get Licensed and Start Your Real Estate Career Guide. Everything in this video, plus more, is inside that guide. So to get your copy, click the link down below. Oh, and by the way, if you like this kind of content and you enjoyed the video, smash the like button because it does help the channel grow, and we definitely appreciate it. Before we get into all the steps, I want to go over some of the basic requirements that you need to meet before you get started with this process. The very first one is you have to be 18 years old or older, and you have to have a high school diploma or a GED. Another requirement is you're required to be a legal US resident. The very first step is completing the pre-licensed education classes. Now, in Massachusetts, you're required to complete 40 hours of state-approved pre-licensed education classes. And yes, I know 40 hours sounds like a lot, but in comparison to some other states, it's actually not that bad. But if you have a busy schedule or you have a 9-to-5 job that you just can't step away from, then you do have another option. And we highly recommend you check out Colibri Real Estate School. They offer really good online classes. The students love it. And oftentimes you can even find discounts for the classes online. So if you want to check that out, check out the affiliate link down below and you'll be able to see what kind of sales and discounts they have going on their classes, and we highly recommend them. After you complete the 40 hours of pre-licensed education classes, you're going to want to take some time to study before you actually schedule your exam. You want to make sure that you're ready and you're confident because this exam does have a high failure rate. And to avoid that, you're going to want to study and make sure you're well prepared. Now, I do want to give you a couple tips to be able to pass this and have a higher chance of passing the test the first time. The very first one is I would time block an hour every single day, Monday through Friday, for at least 2 weeks to be able to read through the material, study hard, and really kind of learn the information even more than you did in your regular pre-licensed classes. Now, taking time to study after the pre-licensed classes is going to give you a much higher chance of success, and you're going to learn the material and get to know it a lot more, which is going to increase your chances of passing. The second thing is finding a real estate study buddy. Now, finding a study buddy that you can study with is a game changer because it makes it a lot more fun, it's a lot more interactive, and you're probably going to study more because you have someone to do it with and somebody to hold you accountable. Another cool thing about having a real estate study buddy is doing flashcards. You can do flashcards, kind of create little quizzes and make it a lot more fun than just reading through a textbook. Now, if you don't have a study buddy and the textbook just isn't working for you, then I would highly suggest you check out Prep Agent. I use Prep Agent to pass my exam, and they offer a test-like simulation tool. It helps you study, it quizzes you, and it tells you, what you're getting wrong, what you're getting right, and it's really interactive. And that's what I loved about it. So I highly recommend you check them out. There's an affiliate link for that in the description as well. It's called Prep Agent, and it really did help me pass my real estate exam. Once you've studied, it's time to actually schedule the exam. In Massachusetts, the exams are held with Pearson VUE. When you schedule with Pearson VUE, you can call or you can schedule your test online, but you are going to want to give them some notice ahead of time. They do have several testing locations throughout Massachusetts, so you can find one that's convenient and closer to you most likely. And when you do schedule, you're going to want to know when you show up on test day, you're going to want to bring a basic non-scientific calculator for the math portion of the exam and 2 forms of identification to get into the testing center. Now, once you get into the testing center, you're going to be sat down. It's not an open book test, so what you know is what you know, and you're given 4 hours to take the exam. Now, you have plenty of time. The majority of people finish the exam early, and rushing through it is just going to increase the odds of you misinterpreting something and getting something wrong and failing the exam and having to come back. So make sure you read the questions a couple times before you actually submit your answer, because some of the wording can be a little tricky and you might actually know the right answer, but because you're rushing through things, you might start answering questions wrong that you really know the right answer to. So take your time. You have 4 hours. There's no rush. Once you're done, you're going to know if you passed or failed relatively quickly. As soon as you walk out, they're going to go over your scores with you. And if you do pass, congratulations. It's time to take a step back and really be proud of yourself for a little while, because the majority of people actually fail the exam and the majority of people don't even get started. So the fact that you went through your pre-license classes and you passed your exam is a big deal. So you're going to want to celebrate and give yourself some credit. Next, it's time to get your background check and fingerprinting done. In order to get licensed in Massachusetts, you're required to do a background check. They want to make sure that you don't have any felonies on your record that may prevent you from getting your real estate license. So you're going to want to get that done. It does take a little bit of time, but it's just a process like anything else. While you're doing that, I highly suggest the next thing you do is start interviewing with brokerages, because finding a brokerage is one of the more simple steps of this entire process. Most brokerages will take you on as a new agent because they want new agents at their office and they're paying you on commission only. So they're most likely willing to take you, but you're going to want to ask some very important questions, because the truth is 87% of all real estate agents fail out of the business, and you don't want to be a part of that number. If you're getting in this business, you want to give yourself the highest chance of success, and picking a brokerage that fits you and what you're trying to accomplish is super important. So here are a couple basic questions that I wanted to give you so you can ask during your interview process with brokerages. Now, I highly suggest that you look at 3 or 4 different brokerages before you decide which one's the right fit for you. Now, when you're interviewing with these brokers, you want to ask a couple specific questions. And these questions are questions that I wished I asked when I first got started. The very first one is, do you get access to a mentor? You're going to want access to a mentor for the first 3 to 5 deals. Once you get your first 3 to 5 deals under your belt, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident. But having access to somebody that's going to walk you through the process and kind of help you through challenging situations on your first couple deals is super important, and it's going to make this process a lot less stressful. Next, you're going to want to ask about training modules and training programs. So having a mentor is great, but if they're still selling real estate, they're probably not going to have time to walk you through every single little step of getting your career off the ground. So you're going to want training modules that you can do on your own time that are going to cover the little things, the little step-by-step processes that you have to do to build a successful business. So make sure you ask if they have some kind of a system that you can plug into and follow to get started, because this is very important. Knowing what to do in this business is half the battle, because you're kind of on your own, and having a system to follow will help you get much further along much quicker. The next question to ask is, how are you going to get business? Many brokerages do business in different ways. Some brokerages are going to tell you to contact your friends and family. This is called SOI marketing. Other brokerages are going to basically say, hey, we have leads and systems for you. You just show up, you handle the leads, and you get less of a commission split because we're doing all the work for you. That's more like a real estate team system. And then you have other things where it's kind of in the middle, where they teach you how to do the marketing on your own. You keep more of a commission split, but you're not just depending on your friends and family, which is SOI marketing. All these methods work. It's just how you want to build your business. So having this conversation ahead of time with the broker and the brokerage that you're going to become a part of is a huge game changer, and it's going to save you a ton of time. Now, if you do want to connect and you have more questions about picking a brokerage, we do have something called Team Power Unit. I have a real estate team locally in Rhode Island and Massachusetts as well, so I'd love to connect. If you want to schedule a partner call where we just talk and I help you through the process, you can ask me questions and maybe you want to become a partner. There's a link in the description below to schedule that call, and I'll put it on my calendar and I'll spend about 30 minutes with you and hopefully I can help you out. The very next step is going to be applying for your license. So now you have your past background check, hopefully you have your past real estate exam and your completed pre-license education classes that's approved by the state of Massachusetts. You want to bundle all that stuff up and send it out as your license application. Once this is done and you get that back approved, you are just going to go hang your license with the brokerage that you decided to go with, and now you're a fully licensed real estate agent. But before we go, I do want to tell you some of the costs associated with getting licensed in Massachusetts so you know exactly how much to budget. The very first thing to budget for is your real estate pre-licensed education classes. Now, I would budget between $300 and $600 to get these classes done. And overall, it's not that expensive considering the amount of education that you're gonna get for the money. Next is the background check. I would budget about $50 to get your background check done. Then you have the exam fee. If you pass the exam the first time around, I would say you're looking at about $85 to get this done. But if you fail, you're gonna have to come back and pay again. Then you have the license application fee, which is about $150. And you have some other miscellaneous expenses like the brokerage you pick. They might have a fee to become a part of their brokerage, and you're gonna have to get E&O insurance. So for that, I'd budget between $200 and $500. So overall, considering the opportunity of becoming a real estate agent, it's not very expensive to get started, and that's one of the most attractive parts of this business is you can get started for a relatively low amount of money, and the doors that it could open could be huge. So the hardest part about this business is getting started and taking the first steps. So once you get your pre-licensed education done, you pass your exam and you find a brokerage, you're well on your way to becoming a real estate agent. So if you have questions, definitely drop it in the comment section below, and if there's any way I can help and you're thinking about getting your real estate license this year, drop that in the comment section below as well. I look forward to hearing from you. And if you like this kind of content for real estate entrepreneurs, definitely subscribe because we come out with useful content on a weekly basis for real estate entrepreneurs that are trying to build their empire. Thanks for tuning in and have an awesome day.